There and welcome to this week's Sunday Girl. Look, the sun ain't shining today, but I have such a really special guest for you. He is one of Ireland's top production directors. He is also an events specialist. He is the wonderful Ray Stack. Ray, thank you for joining me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Right, so listen, what we're going to do is we're going to roll straight into it. We know each other, oh my gosh, I think I know you since definitely about 13, 14 years ago.
At least 13 or 14 years.
But I want to know about life before we met up and started working together. Tell me about, Ray Stack from the beginning.
Ray Stack, the DJ from the beginning, started in roughly about 1995. I was working in a bar, just part-time, in Kirby's Bar, Ballyhaig. One Friday night of a June bank holiday weekend, the DJ didn't show up. Mike Lean asked me if I'd fill in. I had a few CDs. There is a long story to that, I'll save that for another time. We DJed that night, had a few drinks, had some fun with the people, and I wound up DJing there all that summer. Started DJing in Beach after that. Gone to Horns, done a lot of stuff with the colleges, done a lot of rag weeks, freshers balls, college balls, so on and so forth. Started with Fabric.
Yeah, I remember you in Fabric, yeah, because I did the opening for Fabric.
That's correct.
Like way back when, I can't even remember what year it was, but it was the biggest nightclub opening, I think, in almost Ireland at the time.
It was,
and
yeah.
you were the DJ on the night, and that was the first time I kind of heard your name, that I kind of said, Ray Stack, who is Ray Stack?
And then we met in an office above Burnsworth in the square, didn't we?
We sure did.
Louise.
That's right.
And the rest is history, as they say.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
What happened is we set up a model agency way back when, about 15 years ago, and this amazing girl called Louise James was working with me. And I said to Louise, my gosh, we need somebody to produce our shows. I mean, who's going to produce our shows? And she said, I know just the guy. And that is the day that Ray Stack walked into my life. And let me tell you, we were talking about, before we came on today, we were saying, what stories can we legally and politely share with you? And the answer is really none.
Very little.
Very little.
Yeah.
But we've had, look, it's incredibly hard work what we do. The planning, the hours that go into it, the stress behind all the shows. But I think maybe over the last year when we haven't been producing shows together, that we look back with such fond memories. I know sometimes I look at the pictures as they keep reoccurring, and God, we had some great fun, Ray.
You would, you'd miss the stress factor of it. I do find that it really keeps your head focused when you are stressing over something. Some of the shows were really, really hard work, but they were a massive reward after, I will say.
They were, and we just I think we got better and better. We started off producing, because of the economy at the time, we were producing smaller shows. It was straight after the recession. So I think we kind of started up in 2005, 2006. We then we launched Fashion Week together.
That's correct.
Kerry Fashion Weekend, which then became Fashion Week, and it was Ireland's biggest and most successful fashion week, sponsored by Image and Lancome and Kelleher's, and God, it was a fantastic event. And then we produced a huge amount of other shows together, including shows for the EU, which we did in Loughlinstown Castle. Ireland's first sustainable show, which we did on Midsummer's Night in Sheen Falls.
That was one of the last big shows we did.
That was one of the last big ones. And we actually had a really big one planned for a really amazing location in Clarny that, when everything comes back again, that we'll definitely do them.
Yeah.
But I know, for me, I kind of go in and I kind of say to Ray, look, this is what the dream is, this is what we're going to do. But you actually have to make it happen. Everything from building the stage, building the sets, the lighting, the sound. I mean, it's an incredible task. It's hours. You get there at dawn, and I know you don't leave until 12 hours after the show.
Everything's back in the van, as they say.
I'm already well home with a bottle of wine.
Yeah, well, I keep telling the lads that you're not finished work until everything is in the shed at home, everything is sorted out, Yeah,
they don't see it. Then we try to kind of make it different every single time as well, and
that's correct.
It's very audience focused. I know we've had long chats about it, and our big thing is, okay, we create this tremendous show, we time it, we rehearse it. But in the end of the day, if the people who come to the show don't enjoy it, it's just not a success for us.
No.
So we always are trying to be all audience focused. Can they see it? And do they get a lot of crack out of it? And
Yeah.
that's what you taught me as well. I think when I first started producing fashion shows, I was very much like, you know, let's do it like Paris. You know, nobody smiles, everybody kind of walks. It's all
Yeah.
about the fashion. And then you said to me, no, Orla, people are here to have a bit of fun.
People need to be entertained.
They need, and that you taught me that. And
Yeah.
very early on in the experience, I think I did a show, and I remember coming home feeling really disappointed afterwards. And you come up the next day and you kind of said, look, we just showed them fashion, which is like, that was the premise of the show, but we didn't entertain them.
No, you have to entertain.
Yeah, that's really
If
what I
people
learned from
pay
that.
money for a ticket to see an event, they want to enjoy themselves. They want to bring
It's a
something
night out.
back out of it. They want
It's a night out.
They want their night out.
Yeah,
They want the drinks. They want to get glammed up. They want
yeah.
people get ready. People spend hours getting ready to go to these events to be part of the fashion, because the fashion isn't just, to me, speaking as a man, the fashion just isn't on the runway. The people that attend this thing want to get fashioned up as well. They want to be part of the show. They want other people to see the way that they're dressed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they
It's
are.
not just-
They
it's
are.
not just
like,
what
the fashion
we're
is
putting
in
on.
the audience.
Yeah.
And again, that is something I've really learned. And gosh, in Kerry, with the fashion standard here is so incredibly high. But somebody once said to me, you know, who are the VIPs at your show? And I said, the VIPs are the people who have bought the ticket
Yeah,
and
bought the
who
ticket to
show
come in.
up and who support every single event we do. They are our VIPs. Look, the last year, it'll be very difficult to describe to people if you're not in the events industry like we are, how incredibly difficult and kind of soul aching it has been, because this is what we were born to do.
Yeah, it is.
We love it. We're by our nature, we want to, you know, entertain, show. It's kind of ingrained in us. What do you see for the future, Ray?
For the future, I hope that everything will come back to the, not so much as the way it was. When things come back, I want it to be better. I want it to be bigger. We have the expertise, we have the equipment, we have everything to come back bigger and better than we've ever been before.
I mean, as well, I know as producing fashion events, we have worked together at the biggest Ladies' Day event on the calendar here in Munster, the Listore. I mean, 28,000 people go to that event, and like, if you haven't been to Listore races, you are missing out, because it's a whole week of madness and greatness. But the Ladies' Day for me is always the highlight. I mean, I know you and I work on it for weeks. We actually minutely map out every last detail, but it's so enjoyable.
The thing I like about Listore is that it does actually get bigger and better, and they add to it every year, which makes the Listore races, but you know, it makes it exciting to work on. It's not just the same thing over and over. I mean, when you came to me and said, "Oh, they're going to decide they're going having a bus with a with a jazz musician on the bus. Can we put sound on that?" I was going, "A bus? Oh no, it's not going to be just a bus. It's going to be an open top bus."
A Classie's bus.
But again, we made it happen. We had to get inverters, change powers, and
We did.
yeah.
And then we wanted a stage, and then we wanted a bigger stage, then we wanted screens.
Then we wanted a stage lit up. We wanted,
and then we wanted music artists. And look, I mean, that's what we do together. Is that you know, it's a challenge. We love challenges, you know. The bigger the challenge, we'll rise to the challenge. But actually, it was funny, before we kind of set everything up, got the sound and reduced the wind, we were talking about the fact, obviously, that, you know, we work all the time with models. I own Upfront Model Management, and Ray is our production director for all the shows. And we had a few model stories, but one in particular really stood out for me. And I think Ray is going to tell it. It's about veganism.
So I believe we were doing a show in Kinmare. I'm not sure which show it was, but I picked up 3 of the girls in Chile and we took an outing, and girls will be girls. They were chatting and chatting and chatting. But after 2 or 3 minutes in the car, they started on veganism and being vegan, a pure lifestyle, no meat, no cruelty. This went on for the whole trip down, maybe 2 hours, and we stopped and took our obligatory photographs at Ladies Walk, Ladies View, and we continued on. The veganism continued on. the show went on for many hours. Then the only place that was open on the way home to get a bite to eat was McDonald's. So I said, I'm starving, I'm stopping. So went into McDonald's. My hands were dirty from loading up the stuff. And then we went, and I went to wash my hands. I came back out and the girls were eating burgers.
Not vegan burgers.
And they were not vegan burgers. I kind of just stood at the table and looked at them and I went, you went on for 2 hours about veganism. And one of them just turned around and went, yeah, but we're hungry now. So apparently veganism only stands when you're not hungry.
And of course, you never know what's going on backstage.
And yeah, you never know. But the good thing about what's going on backstage is I notice when there's an awful lot of stress going on and we think things are going wrong, the good thing is that the people in the audience
never know.
They never know. They never know what's happening. It's like the duck swimming.
Yeah.
They look graceful in the water and they're paddling their best underneath. Yeah. So, and a great night out is what you need.
We all need a great night out now, let's face it. The sun has come out for Sunday, girl.
It has, there'll be squinting going on.
So we're going to bring it to conclusion. I'm going to ask Ray, because he has worked at a top level in the business for so long, and we will continue to do so. So I just want you to share, Ray, some advice and some tips for somebody who's thinking of getting into, the production and event management business.
The advice I give you is don't jump in feet first. Just even if you have to offer it for free, go work with somebody on a few events, maybe do a few music festivals, and get to see what it is, because I've come across guys that they'll take out a massive loan, 50, 60,000 euros, buy equipment, and then all of a sudden they realize, my God, there is so much more work in this than I thought. I thought I was just going to rock up and just put on some music and turn on the light. You just get experience before you jump into these things. If it's for you, you'll love it and you'll continue with it. If it's not, you're going to know straight away from doing the work experience that it's not for you.
It's really good advice, because the startup costs at your level are absolutely, I know we've had chats about it, but the costs of buying in the latest lighting, the latest
staging. It's taken me 20 years to build up what I have.
And then insurance on top of all that again. Then the vans to get it there, the teams, the crews. I mean, it's a massive undertaking.
Huge. It's a massive undertaking.
I'm going to obviously share photos all the way through this so you can actually see the level of detail that goes into these shows. And listen, guys, everybody watching, I hope that we'll meet you all again at a great show or at a great event in the near future. Thank you for all of the support you have given both of us in the past. And we're going to leave you on the upbeat thing and say we will meet again. And thanks so much for listening to us. And from both of us, have a great week.
Thank you.
Bridge 250 rough. 250 rough after this Ray. Whoa! Oh, we're off.
Are you going to drink it tonight, Charlie? So, anyway,
so in other news,
yeah, sure, but,
we get around our wheels and get going.
Yeah. Come on, you. Have we got enough?